Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone around the world. This is Wraithkind, back with another episode of our Forgotten Realms D&D campaign with the Protectors. In this session, the Protectors have cleaned up in the aftermath of their fight with the hag coven, a coven of night hags, setting the spirits of the dead heroes at rest, and with Emeraldi's help, cleansing the area. After departing the cavern, they find themselves hiding in the mausoleum as city guards have tracked them down to the cemetery in which they disappeared. After the city guards found the bodies of a ghast, the corpses of a ghast and a citizen, they are now looking for the culprits. Not really sure what's going on. Preferring not to answer all these questions, the Protectors chose to evade the guards, sneak out of the upper city, and now they have to decide what they're going to do next. So let's join them now as they attempt to make their way out of Baldur's Gate and once again onto the high seas. You guys, through Pass Without a Trace, is technically still active. If you guys want to just try to sneak out of there, why don't everybody just kind of make a stealth roll? Or if you want to try to, as Dawn suggests, stay the night, that's also possible.
Our ship is leaving at dawn, so I think we need to get back to the
let's
ship.
just go.
At dawn, I'm right here. The ship isn't leaving.
The captain, I don't know if he was kidding or not, but it didn't
Jeff,
sound like
you heard
it.
me.
It's
It's good. We've
I
three of
heard
us
you
have
too.
rolled and we're fine. So let's keep going. We keep it going.
yeah, it sounded
All
like
right,
they were
I'm
going to
use
with or
Tides of
without
Chaos
us.
to give myself advantage on this roll, just so I don't mess it
All
up.
right.
Like it still has a 16. It's all good.
I get a 34. I'm
We
in
need to learn stealth. Like, oh my goodness.
Even Emeraldi has a 29.
That's right.
All right. Who are we missing? Beetle, we're missing you.
Or maybe he
No,
has
mine's
She rolled
He has a
24.
17.
I rolled
but
24.
still.
I have to roll stealth by hand because my character sheet's still screwed up just for that.
All right, we got to fix that between sessions then. All right. Yeah, you guys. It's a little painstaking process, but you manage to avoid the guards, stick to the shadows, mostly with the help of Beetle and surprisingly Dawn, as she is very quick and soft-footed from her hours as training to be a ranger way back when, before, crap happened. And you managed to get out of the upper city, past unsuspecting guards that are vigilantly looking outwards, so vigilantly, in fact, that they did not see you kind of sneaking up behind them and then slipping by. And you find yourselves in short order at the docks once again.
What time is it when we get there?
By this time, it's about quarter after. Matter of fact, probably closer to 9:30 at this point.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Pass Without a Trace. You feel your spell fade shortly after you, inconveniently after you leave the upper city. What do you want
Well,
to do?
good job, everyone. I'm going to bed.
I am as well. I don't
Me
feel so
too.
good.
I'll join
good
you,
night.
Emeraldi.
Yeah, I
Decided
should get
those
here
bodies
before
left a
bed.
bad taste in my mouth.
Gotta go collect them weapon. You coming with me, Lycan?
Yeah, I can join you.
All right, and just a reminder, Emeraldi, he said the weapon would be available in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And it's...
Does that ring in my mind, remembering that?
I remind you because I was there.
Oh, thank you, Don. Yeah, I guess it's time for bed.
I meditated in my hammock.
Real quick, can I do one thing before I go to bed?
You can do one thing before you go to bed.
Can I ask one of these sailors if they have an eye patch?
You could probably just fashion one
Wait,
from a
there's a
couple
reason
strips of
for
leather.
that. Hold on, there's a reason. Just let me play this out.
I know you just caught me by surprise. Just totally out of left field for me. So, how are you? Are you just going to go up to a random sailor, or are you going to
One of the
look for a
guys,
sailor
I
with
assume
an
one
eye
of them has
patch?
an eye patch. So I go up and say, "Do you have a spare eye patch?" Banner's like, "Pardon me, my good man. Do you have a spare eye patch by any chance?"
So you you come up on this old geezer, and he does indeed have a well-worn eye patch, and he just kind of looks at you and he goes, "A spare eye patch?" And he kind of flips his eye patch up, and he shows you like this nasty-looking socket, and he goes, "What do you need an eye patch for?"
Don't worry about it. I'm thinking of gouging my own eye out. Would you please spare me an eye patch?
"Well then," and he pulls a dagger and goes, "I can help you with that. I'll tell you what. Give me 10 gold and I'll give you the eye patch and gouge your eyes out. Well, I'll probably gouge your eyes out for free."
That's all right. Here's 1 gold for your trouble, and I'll take the eye patch.
1 gold? No. 10 gold for the eye patch. The eye gouging completely free. Now hold
All right.
still. And he
No,
kinda,
don't need it. Just take the gold and be on your way, old man.
Take all the fun out of it. And he sheaths his dagger and reluctantly takes off his eye patch. And you look at it, it's got to be at least 10 years old, maybe. It's been
It's an
on
eye
his
patch.
head for a very long time. He takes the 10 gold and he goes, "I'm getting a new eye patch with the diamond on it." And he gives you his old nasty eye patch, and he's looking around. Everybody's like, "Oh man, cover your eye," and everything. He goes, and he pops down the gold and he goes, "Drinks on me!" And everybody kind of cheers because they're sitting outside of a tavern. There's like tables around the tavern because it's a nice spring evening, and so there's a bunch of drunks around tables on the outside of this tavern. And one of the waitresses, the serving wenches, looks a little tired, and she kind of rolls her eyes, and she goes, "1 gold doesn't cover all these drinks." He puts another gold down grudgingly. "Well, fine then. Serve 'em swill," she says. And off she goes inside the tavern to get the swill.
Well, so much for that diamond eye patch, old man. Anyway, Banner goes back to his room with his simple black eye patch that's a little rugged, I guess, and rubs out whatever grossness is on the underside. And he basically, what he does is he takes that gem and tries to tuck it under the eye patch and puts the eye patch on. And can he see through the gem the world with the eye patch there, or does it block his vision?
It does block your vision. You get the sense that you will have to look through the gem and into the world. In other words, you got to be able to see.
All right.
But with enough jerry rigging, you could probably, cut a hole in the eye patch and kind of make some adjustments to make it work.
Well, I was hoping that
Bad.
people wouldn't see that I had a gem over my eye, but I guess since that's not an option, Banner just basically tries to tie the gem, basically fix it so that he's wearing some kind of patch that he has the gem over one eye now, and can always see the ethereal plane mixed with the real plane.
You're like the lamest warforged ever.
Maybe
Whatever.
we'll see that tomorrow and quietly take it from you and fix it and make it better.
Anyway, that didn't play out the way I wanted, but that's all right.
Okay.
That's not how the Force works.
That's not how any of us works.
All right. So, in the evening, you attempt to do all of those things you just said. Is everyone returning to the ship for the evening then, or
I
are
am.
they getting it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you return to
Yeah.
the ship. You see, when you return to the ship, you actually happen on a very raucous and very hearty crew, as they are all hoisting steins and imbibing deeply of the ale that Emeraldi had given them at the beginning of the voyage. You see a few of them. There's one in the crow's nest, and he's like, he sees you on, he goes, "Hey, to the protectors!" And everybody else is like, "To the protectors!" And they all raise steins up and take big, deep drinks. And the guy in the crow's nest nearly loses his balance and he falls. And then he kind of laughs and he pulls this rope out and he ties himself to the mast and continues to drink. Jeremiah.
Now that's how you party.
Jeremiah Crowe is sitting in a chair, kind of leaning up against the back of the, where the cabin is, that main, like where the captain's cabin usually is, and there's this wall. He's like leaning up against the wall with a pipe in his mouth, and he does have a stein, but he's not like, drinking to get drunk. He's just enjoying a nice ale. And he sees you all come in, and his eyebrows kind of raise, and he raises his pipe, and he goes, "Welcome back, ye landlubbers. In for the night, are ye?"
Aye, Captain. I do have to pick up a pair of short swords from the weaponsmith in the morning, but I'll be hopping back across the plank to get back aboard ship.
"Well, do your business fast. Like I said, we be out for the tide." And with that, he kind of sticks his pipe in his back of his mouth and puffs away contentedly as you all disappear into your cabins and have fall asleep for the evening. The next morning finds you all amidst a crew that is surprisingly, though not necessarily clear-headed, is preparing to make way. The commanding presence of Captain Jeremiah Crowe is... I'm sorry, Jeremiah, I did it. Is that... Yeah. Anyway, Captain Crowe is kind of going about saying, "Stow those ropes! Hey, get those things cleaned up!" And, issuing kind of peremptory commands, to which everybody is, like, not really paying attention as they're going about their business. And they are, leaping up to do what he asked, but not like, oh my gosh, in fear, It's just par for the course, just another day preparing to go out to sea. What do you guys do?
Beetle's working on a project.
Okay.
Lycum's journaling.
All right.
Banner's just Beetle his crappy eye patch.
Did you say
Beetle? As Banner walks up, Beetle puts down the bag that she's fiddling. Sorry, go ahead.
You said it's morning, right? We've awoken.
Yes, it's morning. All the sailors look like they're all hungover, but otherwise going about their work.
Emerald's gonna go to the weaponsmith, and he lets the party know, "I'm going to pick up my weapons in the weaponsmith. Anyone need a walk before we get aboard ship?"
Lycum puts his journal away and jumps up and says, "Yeah, I'll join you."
All right.
Good.
So you guys depart the ship. I'll return to you in just a moment. Don, what are you doing?
Nothing of consequence. Meditating,
Just hanging out.
practicing magic in non-spell slot consuming ways.
Okay. Banner and Beetle.
Check out my ethereal pirate patch, Beetle.
That's an excellent idea and a terrible execution. Give me that. Beetle puts down she's been fiddling, kind of fussing with this big bag, like a leather sack, and she's got like a book, like her artificer book out. She's kind of been studying and looking at the bag and fiddling with it. She's like, "Give me that." And she's gonna do her best to discuss with Banner what exactly he had in mind. She gets the idea, but she wants to kind of get his exactly what he wants.
Can I give it to her?
All right.
She'll try to. Oh, that's right.
So
yeah.
Can he hand it to
We're
me?
gonna play this out.
So how are you? Are you just gonna try and take it off of his head, or are you?
Yeah,
gonna...
I'll laughingly gesture for him to bend down because he's 3 times my height, and
Okay.
and I'll just try to take it off of his head.
Oh, something's gonna happen.
I know, so it's gonna be awesome.
Banner, I want you to make a charisma saving throw.
Okay.
This thing is so cursed.
All right. As she kind of you start off, you bend over as if you're gonna let her take it, and as she reaches up, you suddenly realize she wants it for herself.
My precious.
She's gonna take it from you, and you're afraid that she's not gonna give it back. What do you do?
Banner just throws himself back. You know what? I think he just plays it off. I think I like it. It's very rugged and manly. I mean, what are you planning to do exactly?
Make it so it doesn't fall out and you lose it? Look at this thing. It's going to fall out of that.
It's not going to fall out, and I shake my head. Does it fly out?
It kind of flops around like this because it's like attached at the top. So when you do like this, it like swings like this. But it doesn't fall off. It just looks really silly.
And I guess Banner just walks away. I don't know. I'm trying to play this as Banner, but also
Yeah,
Beetle?
I know.
And Banner's just like, it's really fine, and he just sort of just backs away and walks off.
Beetle just shrugs and goes back to what she's doing. She's used to Banner being kind of weird, so she might not think anything of it just yet.
Okay. Emeraldi and Lycum, you guys reach the blacksmith that you had gone to before.
Emeraldi strikes up a conversation with Lycum. He kind of asks in a quiet, very curious voice, so, when you become the wolf, have you ever had beer?
What?
As a wolf,
Yes.
I don't think I have.
All right. Well,
In my 600 years of living, you found something that I have not tried before. Well done, dwarf. Well done.
Rubs his hands, has a big smile on his face. We're gonna solve that.
Oh my gosh.
I will gladly join you in this endeavor.
All right, and as you guys are, wow, okay, so new horizons await apparently. As you guys have this conversation, you arrive in short order to the blacksmith shop, and as the blacksmith looks up with his mousy hair and his brown eyes, and he's looking a little tired, but as he sees you walk in, he goes, "Ah, yes. Well, they're over there. They're cooling. They actually turned out pretty well. Yeah. So I mean, the metal's still a little hot. You might want to eventually have the bindings kind of reforged a little bit, but they're solid. They're as solid as I can make them in the time that I have." And Emeraldi, as you're looking at it, it's pretty good material. It's pretty good craftsmanship. I mean, it's not a masterwork by any stretch of the imagination, but it's solid. It's you looking at it, your well experienced eye for combat tells you that it will perform as intended. And for all intents and purposes, is basically the same stats as two short swords.
Emeraldi, well, how can I take hold of them? Are they warm to touch?
They're not hot. They're just warm. They've been cooling for a little over an hour now. Of course, I went through the hardening process a couple of times, dunking them in water and then heating them again and dunking them in water again.
In water? Oh.
Well, not water. You know what I mean.
Oh.
Anyway, they're all prepared. Yeah, you should be fine. Go ahead and test the weight of them.
Emeraldy asks Lycum, can you just hold my battle axe for a second? And Emeraldy moves to a spot in the blacksmith where he can kind of see how he does wielding both, and tries to kind of do a couple of basic moves with two short swords. See how he does.
All right.
See how they feel.
As you pick them up, the hafts, the hilts, the pommels, they feel good in your hand. Very well weighted. The blades, however, are a little light. They're lighter because they're made of bone, but they're no less solid for it. Your practiced eye look at the blades; they're well sharpened. And matter of fact, as you're looking at it, you realize that it'll take a lot for these blades to chip. So they'll probably keep their edge indefinitely. Swinging through the air, you're not necessarily used to fighting with two weapons at once, but as far as you can tell, it feels really nice in your hands, and you know, they move very quickly. You feel like these are going to be good weapons to have for whoever wields it.
Emerald takes possession of them and shakes the hand of the blacksmith. Thank you for your time and great work. Well, Lycum, I think that's our time. We should probably head back. Lycum, I've been thinking about perhaps my original intention was to give one to King Brunar, and well, you didn't get a chance to meet him, did you? Or maybe
No,
you did.
Have I met him before? I doubt it. I'm assuming. Okay.
Well, we in our adventures we met the King of Mithril Hall and King Brunar. We can catch up later, but at any rate, for a dwarf to have such a prize from the depths of the ocean where dwarves never go is rather rare. But I'm almost feeling a little called to maybe give this to someone in our party. Someone who kind of rushes into the thick of it, but is never armed.
Are you talking about Dawn?
Yes, I am. These are very light. Perhaps she could wield them with such a ferocity that not only meets her display of power, but it always is good to have a weapon backup, especially if you're jumping in the thick of it.
I don't know if that's what she would prefer, but she might. I think she would definitely appreciate the offer.
You all would know that. I mean, you see, Dawn has a short sword at her side and a dagger.
Okay, yeah.
Well.
Then yeah, then she would probably really appreciate this.
She carries them. She just doesn't use them as frequently as she used to.
Yeah.
All right. And as you guys are continuing this conversation and presumably heading back to the ship, just as you're arriving, Emeraldy and Lycum, you see the captain kind of looking your direction. He goes, "Well, it's about time you showed up. We're getting ready to cast off." And as you guys board the ship for the final time in Baldur's Gate, we're going to take a brief 5-minute break.
With people in your games.
All right, we're back. Unfortunately, it looks like we have some technical difficulties, so most of our camera feeds are out, but we're going to continue on. As you all finally get up on deck, Captain Crowe kind of looks around and goes, "Well then, cast all moorings, unfurl the sail, let's get out of this port." And in short order, the ship actually eases away from the docks. And you quickly find yourselves well and truly along the way. For the first leg of the journey, you actually follow the coast, keeping it to the right of the other right, the left of the ship. as you guys head in a general southerly direction. And as you do so, you just get beyond the river, and you notice, oddly enough, walking along the coast, because you are fairly close to the coast, what looks to be a curious sight. A very old-looking gnome with wispy hair, with this strange bone-like staff, and kind of tottering behind him are two zombies kind of mindlessly following. And
I shoot him with a javelin. No, I'm just kidding.
and
Bitter knows not of his terrible ways.
And in the distance, you can't quite hear what he's saying, but his voice kind of pierces the air as he turns around and he goes, "What? What?" And he's looking at the zombies. He goes, "Come on, let's go. We've got ground to follow. Come on, let's go." And continues on along the coast. It's about midday when you pass another town along the coast. And this town looks like it's seen better days, an eclectic combination of architecture. As you pass the town, the Captain Crowe goes, "That be Ashland Harbor. Not much business ever since Baldur's Gate has come into play, but every once in a while the fish fleet does have some great exports here. The business has..." And there she goes again. "The business has lifted or picked up lately, I hear, but aside from that, I don't know too much." And then he gives turns to the helmsman and he goes, "Swing her 5 degrees to port. It's time to get going out of here." And the ship drifts away from the coastland, and you are now at sea. It's about evening as those of you who are left on the deck kind of see in the distance towards the land the faint glimmering lights of this gigantic keep. Candles everywhere that you can see in windows and on long crenellated ramparts. The keep is so big that it's easy to make out from this distance even. And the rest of the day actually goes without any kind of events. It goes uneventfully. Couldn't think of that word. Anyway, as a matter of fact, the next several days go quite uneventfully, and as you guys continue to actually find a little bit of enjoyment of the sea voyage, you gain a measure of peace, and you see Jerome Crowe over the course of the few days kind of looking around, and he says, "This is what it's like. Life on the high seas. It can't get any better than this." And he's looking around, just enjoying the view, and you get the sense that he really does love the sea. It's not just a vocation for him. It's a way of life. It's something that he truly, deeply loves. Part of him. And it's about the evening of the 4th day as you guys see in the distance to the south, in front of the ship, what looks to be a city. This city is quite different from the other cities that you have seen. It's kind of cut out of the forest. The forest has been cleared away in the surrounding area. The walls are low, look fairly unkept. More a collection of houses, and then the architecture itself is also different. as many of the houses have straw roofs. And among the jumble of the straw roofs, you see one large palatial estate towards the back of the city. The port is a fairly open port, fairly unguarded, about in a horseshoe formation, as if the land itself is opening welcome arms to the ships. Unfortunately, that's as far as the welcome goes, as Captain Crowe he's looking through his telescope, and he goes, all of a sudden he goes, "Hard to port! Make your way for..." Sorry, it's a hard voice. "For the next city, we're not be staying here." You all see a line of ships, very large ships, larger than the ship you're on, frigates to be exact, 3 masters. All of them, well, not all of them, but most of them do have their sails furled and not moving. Though they tend to, looks like they've got this heavy chain kind of draped from ship to ship as they enact a blockade. And the chain itself is, within the chain itself, in each open link, you see many, like, spikes going out of it and things like that, meant to destroy or damage ships that try to run the blockade. And you see many ships have a solid black flag flying over it. Captain Crowe looks a little uneasy as the ship does turn hard to port and makes its way once again to the south and a little to the west. Around this spur of land and into and through Asavir's channel, you find yourselves in a place called the Race, a collection where the jungle is to your left, and and a few rocky isles is to your right. You begin to see quite a few merchant vessels. You saw them on and off throughout the day, but you see quite a few merchant vessels traveling in what seems to be in packs as you continue on. And keeping kind of close together. And as it comes closer to nighttime, you see many of them find a kind of a safe haven, a place among the land, kind of a covert or a bay in which to weigh anchor. And you see the captain look a little nervous as he briefly considers perhaps doing the same, but then just kind of almost visibly shrugs and continues on. And soon the sun sets. Where are you all at this point as you guys are nearing the next port of call?
Lycom's sitting off to the side, just watching over the water, just keeping glimpses of. Wait, is it like sunset? You said?
Yeah.
Are we past that for quite a while? We haven't been near that at all. In the recent past.
Okay, so if you look on the map, you'll see where approximately the ship is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if we've been safe for a little while, Lycom's gonna actually probably be swimming in the water as a hunter shark for a bit.
Okay.
Banner's at the front of the ship, just taking in the breeze, chill, relaxing, taking naps, and just waiting until something happens.
Okay.
Because it's kind of boring on a ship for Banner.
Meditating and trying to focus control on my powers. Like cross-legged, little tiny like baubles floating around me like Jedi meditation style.
Okay.
Emerald is kind of playing around with both of those short swords. just having some fun, trying to see whether you can try this new art of using 2 weapons in each hand.
All right.
Okay, Beetle's continuing to work on her new project that she hasn't talked to anybody about yet.
All right. So, so who all other than Lycum, who's swimming lazily next to the ship, who all is on deck at this point? Excuse me.
Well, Banner's on deck at the very front of the ship. Like he's like basically napping on the thing, whatever that is. The
thing.
Yeah, the thing
prow.
the prow, yeah, of the ship. He's just chilling out there.
All right.
With a leg dangling down.
So, you guys hear from the crow's nest. Look out, going, Captain Crowe, off to the west. And as he says that, the captain kind of steps over to the rail. He's standing there next to the helmsman. Steps over to the rail to the west, and he raises his telescope, and he kind of looks puzzled. And he lowers the telescope, and he looks at his telescope. Then he raises the telescope again, and you hear him mutter, "But I ain't seen that before." And
Here.
go ahead.
Oh, I step up to him and say, "May I have a look?"
And he gives you the telescope, and he points to the west. Way to the west. You can barely see like this little speck on the horizon.
The first thing I say is, "I've always wanted to use one of these." And I fold up to my eye and I unhook the spyglass and I look at the tiny speck.
All right. What you see is a curious sight indeed, as you see a large ship, roughly the size of the Caravalier Inn, but only a single mast and rank upon rank of oars. And they seem to be pointed bow first, right towards you guys, towards your ship, as the oars are steadily kind of rowing. Vaguely,
I hand it back.
In the distance, you hear kind of this faint drumming sound. Dum, 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 dum. And the drumming sound doesn't necessarily sound like it's actually keeping beat. It's just very random, which is, again, an oddity in and of itself.
I have a bad feeling about this. I hand the spyglass back to the captain.
The captain says, "Hey, me too. Ain't seen nothing ain't seen nothing like a ship like that. Rows and a sail. Who does that?" And as time progresses, the ship does grow a little closer, and as it does so, the captain, he's kind of keeping an eye out on it through his telescope, and after a moment he just kind of chuckles, and he goes, "Well, this just got a little bit stranger. They be goblins on that boat."
Did someone say goblins?
"It seems so, somehow. They got themselves a boat. Ain't never seen that before, but hey, you see all kinds of things in the sea, I suppose." "Well, to me it seems logical that they'll be looking for trouble. What say ye? Shall we avoid them, or shall we play a little bit?" At this time, the sun has well and truly started to set. Matter of fact, within the next 10 to 15 minutes, the darkness will have crept over the horizon, enveloping you all.
Without knowing much about this, I'm guessing Lycan probably wouldn't have seen this underneath the water. Or would that have caught my eye at all?
Yeah, I mean, as it drew closer, you could probably see the draft of the ship.
Okay.
The churning of the water as the oars not at all timed, as they just kind of row. Matter of fact, as they're creeping closer ever so slowly, you notice that the boat is not capable of navigating in a straight line. It's just kind of going off this direction and going off
Does
that
our boat
direction.
have cannons, by the way?
No, not in this era. Arbalest, things like that.
Okay.
Well, trouble in the high seas is rarely preferable, but I am afraid that if we leave this ship alone, they may cause trouble to someone else.
And Raleigh gets his heavy crossbow, goes to the side of the ship closest to it. Well, I'm ready to fire a couple of bolts at them if they get too close.
And
I'm fairly certain I could divert them from us, but I'm not sure if that's a very kind thing to do.
And about that time, the captain says, "What? You better duck!" And he ducks just as the
duck.
ship, which is about 300 feet away now, you hear a soft "Doof," and you see this blob of stuff. You're not sure what it is because it's so distant, like fly up into the air. At first you think it's a stone, but then you hear a
Ooh, Peter lines up his glaive. He's like, "Oh, right, this is fantastic."
and the goblin comes flying, obviously missing the ship, unfortunately, as he's windmilling through the air. And you see that he's got this sack and he's got this flask in hand. And as he realizes he's going to miss, he drops the flask. It smashes on the deck and the fire kind of erupts. And Captain Crowe kind of curses under his breath and says, "Man the Arbalest, you cursed dogs, we're getting bombed." And
I am going to...
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. At this point, now that I know they're obviously hostile, I'm going to step up to the starboard side. They're on our right?
Yeah.
Step up to the starboard side, and let me make sure I can do this real quick. I'm going to look at the... Yeah, okay. I'm going to cast Major Image and make it look like the water erupts in tentacles as a giant kraken-like monster roars at just trying to scare them away. Hopefully they aren't dumb enough to go right through that. Make it look like the tentacles are swatting down towards our ship. As one of the illusory tentacles hits me, I go, "Ah!" and fall over as if it crushed me.
All right.
And then I swing one at Banner, too.
What's the saving throw on that? I forgot.
They have to make an investigation check.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, so that's...
So actually, at this fire thing, Banner was going to chop down to Lycum and Shark, which I guess is the thing he can do. I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
how
I'm fully aware that this won't last forever, but if it can divert them for a little bit, we might be able to get away.
All right.
Yeah, well, Banner was going to go, "Lycum, let's smash some goblins," and like jump into the water and just grab onto his dorsal fin.
All right, I'm actually okay with this.
All right. Let me see here.
Oh, this is going to be such a bad idea.
The vast majority of them think it's real.
Yeah, so... Oh, I forgot one.
Wow, there's some critical investigations checks in there, though.
Well, some of them are.
So you see, now the ship is close enough that you see the deck is just chock full of these goblins, and they're indeed, they have these cutlasses all notched and rusty, and you see one goblin with a bunch of like drums kind of attached and strapped to his waist, and he's got these two little rolling pins that he's using for drumsticks as he's going doo, 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 and he's just having a great time pounding these drums. To his left, there's this probably the meanest one of the group looking captain with a little bit of a what looks to be like a grappling hook, except for it has been repurposed. The edges are sharpened. There's spikes all over its head, and there's a few of the goblins that like pull up their oars, and they look like they're trying to oar the other way now, as this creature is like making havoc on your ship and just generally looking scary. And some of these other goblins are like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? And the captain's going, keep going, we've got him. You see a couple of as you're closer, you see facing your way 5 different light catapults that are bracing on the for another barrage of goblin balls as they kind of and 5 goblins go arcing through the intervening space. Let me see if they make it.
This is the best battle ever. Goblin catapults.
I have an action queued for whenever I get to do something.
So what happens is 2 of the goblins goes flying over. One of them has the presence of mind to drop another flask as it kind of bursts into flames. The sailors kind of run over and they're putting the flames out. They're not long lasting, but they could potentially accumulate a great deal of damage to the ship, as you guys would know. The other one just kind of goes flying, screeching, and saying, "Mummy!" in common. The other 2 kind of, you have this moment where their eyes like get really big, and you hear a solid as they hit the side of the ship and kind of splat, and you hear a groan as they kind of splash down into the water and are quickly left behind. And what do you want to do?
Of splashing into the water.
May I take one quick action? It's pretty simple.
Yeah,
Emerald wants to take action too.
I'm just going to step up to the starboard side of the ship and cast a lightning bolt right into their sails and set them on fire.
Okay.
Are they that close?
How far are they?
How far are they?
They are quickly closing at this point. Matter of fact, they're within range of your lightning bolt.
I have distance spell if I need to. I can double the range.
They're within range of your bolt.
Okay, so I'm just gonna light them on fire, or light the sails on fire.
All right.
Hopefully that'll divert their attention.
And the fires do. Let me see here. Jeez.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah, your lightning bolt smashes in. Matter of fact, it smashes into the mast rather than the sails, and the mast kind of splinters with a huge explosion, and the top of it actually kind of comes clear off and falls over, crushing a couple of the goblins as they lay still.
As far as Banner jumping in the water and Lycum and him heading over to the ship, where are we with that?
Okay. At this time, let's just go ahead and roll initiative.
So many goblins.
I know. Well,
So, yeah.
All right. So, brings us to the top of the order. Dawn, what do you wish to do? As you see them preparing, more goblins are getting into the catapults, and the catapults are now ratcheted back. What do you want to do?
Are the catapults there at the front? Is that where those are?
Yeah.
There are
those things on the top
there
left.
are 4
bottom
to
left.
the top, and there's 1 to the rear.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna step over here, swing out over the side with one hand like a buccaneer, and I am going to just give a little quirk of a smile as I realize the devastating effect of what I'm about to do. Use distance spell to modify it, and use fear in a 60-foot cone against almost all of them.
All right. So
I need a wisdom save from a lot of goblins. Cones are 90 degrees. I'm angling it in such a way that I won't hit Beetle. I am going to hit Banner, unfortunately. I hope you make your whiz save, Banner. I can give you a boost if...
all right.
Well, it depends on how you're doing it, because I'm hanging on the side of the ship below the deck.
Yeah, but cones are 3-dimensional. If I want to catch everyone in the lateral plane, I can't raise it too
16.
far above you.
So it looks like it's going to be 16 saving throws.
Banner, make yours. I have Bend Luck to give you a bit of a boost. If you need it. Oh, I can't help you.
All right. Yeah, and they with their mighty -1 wisdom mod. What's your DC?
14.
All right. So, going from the top, we have an 18. Let's see. This
I count
one-
10 failures.
Yep. So it's 1, 2, 3. You know what? I'll just take first 10. So it'll be
Okay. And since I use Tides of Chaos, you can call a Wild Magic Surge whenever.
2. All right. 3. 4. I'm just gonna pick 10 random. 5.
Okay.
6. 7. Jeez. 8. 9 and the one right next to Banner, 10. And of course, Banner, yeah, you failed. So, Banner, as you are climbing up the side of the ship, you are suddenly swept with the inescapable fear of something, I guess. You just
he can't
generally,
see it.
Oh, so he's not afraid or what? While frightened, let's see.
No, you project phantasmal images. They don't have to be looking at you.
Okay, so all right. So as you're climbing the side of this ship, all of a sudden you swear there's a face in the hull of the ship. As you're staring, it looks at you and he goes, "Help me! Help me! They've made me into the ship!" And you
Actually, I drop whatever I'm holding and fall into the water.
okay. And with that,
Based on the
you
description
just
of the
kinda-
spell.
you just kind of plummet into the water.
You could continue climbing and just run across the deck away, too.
Well, no, it says in the spell you drop whatever you're holding.
In fear?
But it
Yeah.
also says you don't move into any obviously dangerous whatever. You can do what you like. You can interpret
Okay,
it.
well,
how you
no,
wish.
I'm just trying to interpret what the spell.
I would argue that climbing something doesn't count as dropping what you're holding.
Okay.
But
All right. So, with that, is that your turn?
yeah, I'm just gonna turn into my illusory, fearful form and just laugh at them and try and make them run away and jump overboard.
All right. Which brings us, Banner, to you.
Well, this actually works fine with what I wanted to do, so you tell me if I can do this while I'm feared.
Okay.
Basically, Banner wants to jump on the deck, and basically he wants to hold his glaive in front of him like this, and run across the deck, knocking goblins off the other side.
So while you're running away, you're gonna try and just kind of push them along.
I'm basically
with
becoming
you?
a bulldozer as I'm running across the ship. And I'll use action surge if I have to be able to do that. But
No, I want you to make an athletics check.
okay.
As you're running and you're trying to kind of grab some goblins and bulldoze them
Basically, I'm right there,
along
and my
the
glaive
way.
is stretched out across from me, and I'm trying to run across the deck and knock like 6 or 9 goblins off the edge of the thing, or something like that.
Whoops, I rolled the wrong thing.
Or I guess only 4, as much as I can reach with a 10-foot weapon. So
All right, and you rolled a 12. Okay. You, as you're like bulldozing, there's one goblin. He just kind of ducks you as you're doing so. But as you reach the far side, because you're wanting to go like all the way across, right? Are
Yeah,
you,
basically,
like,
I'm
going
trying
over
to
here?
catch the. Yeah, and I'm trying to catch all these goblins in this general vicinity.
So, I'm going to allow you to do that to the two goblins in front of you as you're running in a straight line. But the first one kind of ducks onto your arms, and unfortunately, the second one, busy and futilely rowing, looks up just in time to see your face as you kind of careen headlong into him, and you both kind of fall. Are you like going overboard? Is that what you're doing, or are you stopping?
I'm pushing him overboard, basically. Right. Yeah.
So you.
I'm stopping.
All right. You need to let me know that detail. Okay. So and he kind of goes over, and of course he is one of the goblins that's also affected by the fear spell. So as he's looking up, his face is like in a rictus of fear, and he's like, ah! As you're screaming at him and he's screaming at you, and the next thing you know, he's like, ah! He's like, boom! And you hear a, ah! And he's now overboard. Is that your turn?
Well, actually, I'm going to use what's left of my movement to get behind the. I guess, is there enough of a mass there to get out of Dawn's vision? Or can I just?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, technically, just to explain the layout of the ship, the deck to the fore and the deck to the aft are raised, and this middle part is down inside, with banisters on either side and benches, quite obviously.
Oh, okay. Well, so then I'm out of her.
Yes,
I can make a roll at the end of my turn.
You can.
All right. So I'm going to, since I used the dash action, I am going to action surge to cast mirror image in my fear.
Okay.
And then I'm going to that's my turn, and I'm going to try and save myself from Dawn.
All right. Hold on a second.
Okay.
That was an action surge. But you have to take the dash. You took the dash action, right?
Yeah.
Right. Saves it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't say anything about action surge. You technically took a dash action, so yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you're still quite afraid as your wisdom save fails.
But at least you're protected with mirror image.
Yeah.
That is true. Beetle, is Beetle back? Beetle, you're back?
Yeah, I'm
All
here.
right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just forgot to turn things back on here.
Cog is going to fly down this way and prepare for orders.
Cog passes me going, ha 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 ha, as the goblins are all running away and screaming.
Cog says to Beetle silently, "We gotta talk about your elf friend." And for now, he flutters up on, he's just gonna sit on top of the wheel for a minute.
Okay. All right. Let me see.
Red skin and fire hair. That's all it takes to frighten goblins.
Banner, you see the captain jump down. He kind of fixes you with a stare, and he whips out his
cutlass? Grapple hook thing.
It's not supposed to be a cutlass. It's supposed to be a...
You said he had a spiked grapple hook thing?
Yep. His grappling hook. And as he whips it out, unfortunately, it misses you. Well, fortunately for you, but unfortunately for him, it misses you, and it slams into the bench, and he gives a surprisingly strong pull on the chain that it's attached to, and rips the bench right off of the deck. Unfortunately, that is his turn. What is Bert doing?
Bert is going to scramble for cover and in a frightening way. He's going to scramble under whatever these things are.
Oh crap!
Crates.
Okay. All right, which brings us to you, Beetle. What are you doing?
Their mast
Okay,
is on fire, right?
Their mast is gone. I just
And
can't.
this is where most of the catapults are, right?
That is where most of them are. Yes.
Beetle's gonna run over here, rip one of the beads off her necklace, and hurl one of her necklace of fireballs into the center of these goblins.
Oh!
All right, make a ranged attack as you're hurling it.
So just add my proficiency in Dex modifier, or
It's just your dex, I think, unskilled ranged. Oh yeah. It go ahead and roll damage as nice. As this eruption of flame and explosion just kind of boom. Oh wow. And and for a moment you see several curious goblins kind of looking at this bead as it seems to be like slowly arcing through the air. And the goblins are looking confused, and then it like hits right in the middle of them, and there's this thunderous explosion, and all of them just kind of burned to a crisp within the
what about the
vicinity.
catapults?
Oh yeah, the catapults are gone too.
Yes.
Actually,
Just took the front of the ship off.
It's even more on fire now.
oh yeah, the totally like the front of the ship is now engulfed in flame. It's just burning. There's black smoke billowing out. The captain starts looking around like maybe this isn't a good idea.
Too late now, Gobby.
All right, a couple more.
As a free action, Beetle's gonna draw her light crossbow,
Okay.
and then she's going to, as a bonus action, dash up onto the top of the deck here, where she can see better.
All right, where exactly did you throw that bead?
Like right in the center here.
All right, well you got to give me a square here.
Oh, then it would have been like, say, this square.
All right, here?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Yeah, I'm not bothering doing deck saves for these, because even if they make the save...
Oh, you killed all the ones I frightened.
Sorry.
By this,
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, and you see like the oars are burning along the halves. There's one goblin like he was flash fried to the oar, and there's just like this open like shocked expression, and the oar's still moving just on its own, and it looks like the goblin is actually still rowing, but he's not. It's just the current that's actually moving the oar, making that effect.
Banner looks at the terrified goblin next to him, and he's like, I don't know why we're scared of the other one.
All right, is that your turn?
Yeah, that's Beetle's turn.
All right. Oh, I gotta check. I forgot about those two in the bow. Yeah, those two are dead too. All right, like them. Thunderous explosions, rushing banner, ash on the wind now. What do you wish to do as you are still in the water as a hunter shark?
Seeing a banner climb up over the side, and all of a sudden I see just like a scared look a little bit, because I was like peeking my head up, just like what's about to happen, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then when I saw Banner start running, I was like, I know Banner. And I go to this side, and right as I go to this side, right as I'm moving to that side, the goblin falls in, and I'm just like Yes! And I latch on, and I just start going to town on that dude.
Oh my gosh, yes.
All right, go ahead and make your attack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nasty.
Unfortunately, you got a little too excited as he was falling, and still under the effects of the fear spell. The goblin's like trying his best to swim as fast away from things as possible, and you just barely miss him. You actually just barely nip him, so there's blood in the water, and now you actually feel this almost primal frenzy come up as your shark body kind of smells, gets a taste of this blood.
I would have sped past as I was attacking,
Yep.
and so I'm on the other side. I'm flipping around and ready to go for my next turn.
All right. All right, so the goblins' turns. The goblins that are currently afraid of this demon of in elven form start just wholesale jumping over the sides. It's like cannonballs.
It's a buffet for Lycum.
As they're running over the side, the captain's going, "Where are you going? Where are you going?" Trying to yell at them to not be so afraid, unsuccessfully. One enterprising goblin to the aft gets himself in the catapult, and the other goblin, as enterprising as he is, oops, I moved the wrong one. Fires the catapult. And he just barely misses. He actually hits right here in the aft where this aft deck is slightly raised, and he slams into the side, and he kind of slides down, taking 4 points of damage as he does land on the deck, but he's got his nose is broken, and his teeth, as he kind of looks around and he smiles at you mischievously, are all his front 2 teeth are missing now. As he's going, "Now I gotcha!" And yeah, that's what he does. The other one that just fired the catapult, see, that was his action. He's going to go 5, 10, 15. Nope, he's going to stay there. And he's going to take the dodge action, actually. As he's looking around, and all of his friends are either catapulted off, blasted to smithereens, or jumping off the side of the boat. Their carefully planned attack, which you get the feeling is not carefully planned at all, is quickly going awry much faster than usual, and he's a little worried. The goblin to the south of you, previously rolling, kind of looks at his newfound boon of having an enemy straight in front of him, jumps up and tries to stab you with his cutlass, rusty and notched cutlass, but a 21, does that hit you?
Well, might hit a mirror image.
All right, so it does hit something, but what does it hit?
It hits me.
All right.
Somehow.
Somehow this inept goblin actually, as he's standing up, and he goes, and he jumps forward, and he trips over his own foot and lurches forward, and you feel his blade actually enter his side, and you're actually a little surprised as he does 8 points of slashing damage as it sinks into you. All right. I think all the rest of my goblins are dead, which brings us to Jerome Crowe. At the beginning of this, Jerome Crowe looked like he was getting ready to fight, but then he looks around at the last, I'd say 10 seconds or so, as he was kind of leveling a hand crossbow in their direction, and he just kind of lowers it and he looks at you all like, huh, and he just kind of takes out a pipe and kind of laughs, and he puts it in his mouth and he just kind of shrugs. Next to him, Stiletto's like, huh, well, I'm sure glad we let them come along. And that's his turn. He smokes. The other sailors are actually busy going about the deck, putting out the 2 or 3 fires that they did manage, which I didn't have time to grab the fire graphics. Apologize for that, but there's a fire up in this general direction. This sailor is trying to put that one out. This sailor is trying to put out the fire in that general area. This sailor, however, is going to make an acrobatics. As he grabs a rope and he does, nice.
Wow.
Does a natural crit as he just kind of smoothly wraps the rope around his wrist and swings over, and he lands with a great grace and finesse on the enemy ship. In the aftermath, and he's apparently behind them. I hate that when that happens. In the midst of a whole bunch of dead goblins. That takes about 5. And he's just going to move down here towards the captain. That's his turn. This sailor is going to go up to the arbalist, and he's going to start kind of turning it in the direction of the enemy ship. It had already had a projectile loaded as a matter of course, but that's his turn. Emeraldi, you're up. What do you wish to do?
Emeraldi's going to move. And he's going to attack this goblin here.
Okay.
And he's going to use the new swords.
All right.
Hang on here. Oops. Here's the first one. And then with the other hand for the his second movement or attack.
All right. Unfortunately, as you're kind of the weapons are still kind of new, you're still getting the feel of it. You didn't quite hit him as this uncommonly lucky and nimble goblin managed to dodge all of your attacks. In spite of, broken nose and profusely bleeding face. Somehow, he is still alive.
That's my turn.
All right. Dawn, you're up again. What do you wish to do?
I am just going to take a few steps down here, target this square as low as I can near the water line, and just blast a hole in the ship and the goblins around there.
All right. Okay.
Nice
Oh.
roll.
Ignore 9 of that.
Okay, so
I had modified the damage
Oops.
to use my ability, which I'm
Oh,
not
yeah,
using
yeah.
right now.
So it's really 17 or 12. Oh, okay.
I'm going to use a sorcery point to re-roll the 2 3s.
okay.
That's a bit better. So one of the 3 stays the same, but the other one increases. So 12 plus 5, so 17. That's better.
All right. All right, and that's Constitution save. 2 and 3. All right. The one furthest away manages to brace himself as the ship itself kind of concaves the deck. There's decking going up in every direction, shards of wood flying as this huge explosion of sound takes place. This guy takes 17.
And I drop concentration on fear since all the goblins jumped off the deck, and I don't want Banner to do the same.
All right.
So you're no longer frightened, Banner.
Hooray! I would have just gone down there and started beating on him like him.
Well, now you can start beating on the captain. You actually wouldn't have been able to since you have to take the dash action.
Oh, that's right.
Which is the real brutal part of the fear spell.
Yeah.
Most creatures don't even get to do anything else after that.
All right. Is that your turn?
Yep, I'm done.
All right. So, Banner, no longer afraid.
Okay. Haha, Banner's
now
like,
clear-headed. What do you wish to do?
that's Dawn. And Banner swaggers into the midst, just takes a sidestep past this guy, looks at the captain, and all 4 banners are like, all right, gobbies. And he's like in the midst of like all of them. And he's like, let's have at it. And he swings at the captain with his... Actually, yeah, he starts attacking. Did that put a hole in the ship, the shatter? Did the ship start listing?
Yeah, it didn't
There's
start
water pouring
listing,
in.
but water is starting to pour in. Essentially, this area right here, the deck is, you can look down and see through the top of the deck, and you can see down into the hull. And water is entering fairly quickly into the ship now.
Okay. I just wanted to ask that. And I will go ahead and so I'll attack the captain then.
Okay. Ooh, nice hits. One of your first one hits as you kind of slashes into him. Whoops.
I was re-rolling one of them, but it's the same. So
That was weird.
So 14 total.
All right.
But I am going to go and make a trip attack on him.
Okay.
So when Banner follows up with he swings, cuts, or did I hit with both?
No, just the one. The
Oh,
first one.
okay. So he pulls it back and tries to clip his legs
All right.
for an extra 2. But he has to make a save or be prone.
And he criticals, rolls a natural 20. So he doesn't go prone, but he still takes the damage?
12. Yeah, he still takes damage no
All right.
matter what, so it's 12.
Okay. He's not looking very good at this point as your glaive just kind of scored a really hard hit in his midsection, and he's just kind of holding himself. But he looks at you. He's got this eye patch, and he's like... He starts to try to laugh, and it just comes out as a cough. Blood kind of comes down his chin. I'll get you yet, he says. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
All right. What is Cog doing at this point?
Okay. The captain is the one with the really cool grappling hook weapon, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything more interesting that any of the goblins around Banner are holding?
No,
Probably not.
all of them are pretty motley in their equipment. It's rusted. It's probably stuff that they got off of dead bodies, for all you know.
All right. Beetle sends Cog across and tells him to distract the captain because she's going to take a shot at him next time.
Okay. Is that Cog's turn?
Yep. that's his turn. He's gonna stay there and distract him if he can.
All right. Check something real quick. All right. That's plus. All right. Does a 17 or an 18 hit?
Banner?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Both will hit.
The captain kind of looks at you and he slashes at you with his spiked grappling hook, trying to catch you with one of its sharp tines.
Okay, he hits a mirror image on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So he swings and it just dissipates into a mist, and the second one hits a mirror image too. He swings again, and
so, as he's like swinging and flailing away, you see one of the mirror images kind of poof, and then he swings again, and the other mirror image poof, and he kind of stops and he blinks as if he's confused.
And the two remaining bears just look at him and go, ha, 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 ha.
All right. What is Bert doing?
Well, Bert and I go on the same initiative, essentially.
Yep.
I just put him there so I wouldn't forget him. Beetle yells, "Bert, help!" And he rushes over as Beetle pulls out her grappling bolt and takes aim at the guy's weapon, the captain's grappling hook. She's like, "I'll take that, thanks." And she's going to take a shot to try to grapple that weapon, and that's a 17. Oh, actually, I get advantage, so it's a crit. Because Cog is helping me to get advantage on this attack. I'm trying to disarm him with my grappling bolt.
No, I got that. I'm just trying to figure out how a creature that can't do any kind of attack can
He's
do
giving
that
me. He's
from-
doing the help action.
Yeah,
he took the
I
help
know the
action.
mechanics of it. I'm just trying to logically.
He's just fluttering around, like distracting the guy.
A
is
bird
how
in
I
your face
envision
is
it.
pretty distracting.
Especially a 3-foot tall, huge horned owl when the goblin is the same size.
I often
I'm
see
sorry. You
people
said-
using familiars in
you
this way.
moved Bert, and then you said Cog, and I was thinking Bert, even though you were
Oh,
talking.
no, Cog.
Brain
Cog.
fart.
Cog is helping me.
Right.
I've gotta
No,
try to
you're
reel-
good. You're good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cog is assisting me, and so is Bert. Bert's going to help me try to reel in the weapon because it's going to be an opposed check.
Yep.
Beetle's gonna have an
All right.
army of characters that move on her turns soon.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. All right. So let's see here.
You want
That
athletics?
is- yes.
This will be an advantage because Bert.
Oh, don't even bother. He rolled the natural one. So what are you trying to reel in him?
No, I'm trying to disarm him. I want his grappling hook weapon because it looks cool.
Okay. Yeah, so he's paying attention to Banner. He's looking confused at Banner. He kind of looks at his weapon. He looks at Banner, looks back at his weapon, and just as he's looking at his weapon for a second time, your grappling hook goes shing, 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 boom. And with a heave, it goes, and he's like, ah! And that's as far as 6 seconds will give him to react.
Yep, and I'll yell, "Thanks, I'll take that."
All right, is that your turn?
I still have a bonus action, but I don't particularly care to hide because I'm really having a fun time standing at the railing watching this, so I'm not going to use it. I'm done.
All right, Lycum, you're up. As this goblin's partners, several of them have suddenly joined their compatriot down in the water. What do you wish to do?
Tasting the blood in the water, I turn back around and I go back after that first goblin that I missed the first time.
All right, the one on
And
the
I
bottom?
try to bite
Oh, no,
him.
that
Yes.
one. That one. Okay. And you get him this time. Matter of fact, you tear him up. You just grab a big old mouthful of goblin meat. He is no more. As you just kind of instinctively swallow and that goblin is dead.
Yeah, so I swim past. I grabbed him, I swam past, and then I tore him up, and now I'm turning back and ready for the next turn. That's it. I'm just having a heyday down here.
All right. These goblins in the water, even though they're no longer gripped by the fear spell, seeing this shark just appear out of nowhere and tear their friend in half and just swallow his lower half, start frantically just trying to swim away. Matter of fact,
That sounds like time for attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
See, that's a failure, success, failure. Okay, so as these three try to swim away, two of them, they're not really good swimmers at all. They're trying to hold their breath and scream at the same time and end up taking, in a lung full of water as they take in a great deal of water, and they start trying to swim to the surface as they're like under the water, like frantically swimming away. The other guy, the other goblin to the south, is swimming like a fish, surprisingly enough.
These goblins picked the wrong ship to harass.
Yeah.
You think?
A mute testament to that is Jerome Crowe, as he just kind of laughs and crosses his arm. And he keeps puffing contentedly away on his pipe. And then he pauses a moment and he goes, "Hey, don't forget that one over there. And make sure you get the captain. Oh, get him good," he says, as he's just enjoying this whole spectacle. The sailors that have been working on putting out the fires finally do so. The one sailor closest to the arbalest, to the aft of the or to the bow of the ship, joins the other, completes the swing of the arbalest, and go to fire, but then realize there's not really much to fire at this point, and so they decide, oh well, let's just watch this play out, because they're taking their cue from the captain now, as the captain is just kind of rooting you all on and not taking this seriously at all. Which brings us to Emeraldi facing that nasty, crazy lucky goblin to the south. What do you wish to do? Emeraldi, you there?
You mean it's finally my turn after with the one? Okay, yeah, Emeraldi's gonna hit with the two short swords.
All right, go ahead. Oh, and you definitely hit him with the first short sword as you slice into him. Go ahead and roll damage for that one. All right. So you managed to nick him pretty good as you kind of go forward, and your follow-up with the other short sword comes up a little short. Ha ha ha. I know, corny joke. I'm sorry, guys. That was not even worthy of me. That was 6 damage. All right.
That's my turn.
All right. Got lucky, man. He could have killed you. Dawn, you're up. What do you wish to do?
Let's see. I am just going to... Is this like him on top of the ship? He's under the ship?
Under it.
I'm under.
That's what I figured, but the token... Oh, Banner is there. Never mind. I'm not going to cast another shadow then. I am going to... The fight is almost one. So this section of the ship is lower than ours, right?
At this point, yes. The back of the back of the ship is slowly sinking.
All right. That's 20, 20, 20. That's more like 15, but it's lower. So I'm gonna run, and I'm gonna take a running jump, and I'm gonna attempt to leap across.
All
And
right.
I'm gonna take one step up and jump off of the railing to give myself a bit of a boost, catching it in stride.
Okay.
I just sprint and
Give me an acrobatics check as you just kind of leap across and attempt to land on your feet.
do I land in the hole that I made?
So you know you jump.
I knew it. I called a natural one on that.
You jump and for a moment you like grinning because you know you're gonna make it. You know you're gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. And Banner, you look up just to see Dawn's surprised expression disappear, and you hear a solid thump and a splash in the hold of the ship.
And as soon as I realize that I'm not gonna make it, so as I don't even make it all the way, right? I just fall into the water.
No.
As I'm passing the side of the ship, I'm just gonna cast a thunder wave just to see what I can blast apart on my way down.
Okay.
Get out of my way!
And as you do so, you feel
It's a dawn bomb.
You feel the wild surge of magic.
Wow, that's max damage on thunder wave.
All right. Let me see here.
I'm here now. I think I'd catch this goblin. So I'm splashing down in the water.
So, all right. Oh, yeah, I forgot him.
You grow your beard again!
I do! It's the same one!
Beetle starts cheering from the railing. Yeah, done!
So
There is something.
This is what happens.
I can't believe this has come up so many times.
I can't.
This is what happens. Dawn, you're in the air. You cast Shatter. The goblin right at the rail like freaks out as soon as you start launching yourself, and he like dives to the side, barely narrowly escaping the brunt of your attack, though still taking damage. The captain looks up just in time to see you. The shatter blows him off the side of the ship, though at this point you know that is kind of academic, as his body is very limp and it kind of splashes into the water and is quickly left behind. This guy takes 8 damage. This guy's almost dead. And you're like smiling in midair, realizing you're not going to make it, but you did something. And
it was worth it.
And then your smile kind of falls as you feel the familiar sensation of poof, your feathery beard coming out.
God damn it! That's flashing.
That's great. Is that your turn?
Yep, like you see Dawn splash down into the water in front of you.
With a beard of feathers that are like
Oh, this is
wafting
great.
in the water.
Banner.
And more pieces of the ship
All
come
right,
raining
so,
down as I blast it
quick
apart.
question. Is this the goblin who's almost dead looking?
Yeah, he looks like he's not long for this world at all.
Let me ask you if I can do this. Can Banner grab a goblin and swing it at another goblin?
Improvised weapon!
Okay, let's do a opposed athletics check for that.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the goblin who looks like he can't put up much of a fight.
All right. Yeah, you were
By
able
the
to
ankle,
grab a
and I'm
hold
just
of
gonna
him.
swing him into the goblin next to me and try and knock him off the boat.
All right, make an attack with just your strength modifier.
Okay.
And
I
you're
see what
just
you're
like
saying.
you're just like brute
Roll
force.
d20 plus 2. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. So this is what happens. Let me see what kind of damage. Let me look at something real quick. I gotta look up a. Yeah. So roll 2d6 plus your strength modifier. That will be your damage.
Oh, hang on. I did that wrong. One sec.
I gotta do this to see if he stays on his feet.
That's terrible. Oh, well.
All right.
Still fun.
All right. So this is what happens. You kind of surge forward and you grab a hold of this. You just like bend over. You're not even trying to misdirect him or anything. You just kind of look at this poor goblin who's just weakly getting to his feet. He's on his belly. He's like trying to weakly get to his feet. You just grab the goblin by his ankles and just swing him like a maul. Just kind of boom, and it hits this other goblin as he's looking up. Because he was the one that got lucky and stabbed you too, taking 5 points of damage. And the other goblin, you hear a and he just goes limp in your hand as he is now dead from the impact of smashing into the other goblin. The other goblin, from the impact, is trying to kind of like regain his balance and barely makes it as he kind of takes a couple of steps back and he runs into the railing and just kind of uses the railing to kind of bounce back forward. Is that your turn?
I think that's all. I'm pretty sure that's all I can do. Although, yeah, that's it.
All right. What's Cog going to do?
Who's left on deck that looks like trouble?
Not Dawn.
What's this?
I mean, okay, so this guy is he's drumming away at these drums that are strapped around his waist with these rolling pins. At least he was. Now he's starting to, his drumming is faltering as he's looking around and realizing, perhaps for the first time, that the attack isn't going quite as anticipated. He wasn't really paying attention. He was just solely focused on drumming his drums and as happy as could be by doing that. He's actually wearing this actually, let me blow him up here a little bit so you can see. He's actually wearing this like shaman looking mask, and he's got this ring through his nose, and he's just as happy as he could be drumming. And he looks at you, he kind of looks around with a blank stare like, what's going on? And you get the sense that even for a goblin, this guy is just not playing with a full deck.
All right. Well, we're going to pick on him. Now he has a big owl fluttering at his face, distracting him.
How could you do this, Beetle? You write stories about goblins. This is awful.
Yes, I do. I do terrible things to them, too.
All right.
Some sort of goblin sadist over there.
All right. So, what happened there? The goblin nearest you, Emeraldi, is going to leap forward with his...
That's the captain, actually, that rolled a 16.
Huh?
Isn't that the captain that's a 16?
What are you talking about? The captain is dead.
Oh, okay. I thought the turn order for the other goblins was a 12.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot to take him out. Sorry about that. What is Bert going to do then?
Bert's going to chitter excitedly next to me as Beetle has at the end of her last turn put her light crossbow back in its holster. She's gonna draw her heavy crossbow now.
All right.
And take a shot at the drummer.
All right. And it sinks in to the drummer's chest.
Double sneak.
Yep.
See, 10, 14, 20, yeah. It didn't go into his chest. As he's looking around blankly, it just kind of skewers his skull and he's dead. And he just kind of, he lands with the clatter of drums. Dum, 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 dum. And that's...
Sorry,
that's
some people have no appreciation for music, and I'm one of them.
Is that your turn?
And she casts a sly look back to Velis, and yes.
All right, like him. You're up. What do you wish to do?
I'm going for this next goblin. He's mine.
All right, give an attack. You definitely hit him as you clamp a hold of him. Oh, wrong one, not Constitution. I want Strength. Oh, yeah. And you actually have him in your jaws right now. He can't get out. As you do a good bit of damage to him.
Yes.
Is that your turn?
Yep, that's my turn.
All right. The goblin currently pinned by you is going to try and get out. He's going to do that by trying to attack you twice. At disadvantage. Does a 16 hit? Does a 10 or a 16 hit? Excuse me.
10 does not, 16 does.
All right, doing 8 slashing damage as he kind of manages to get a glancing blow on you. The other 2 goblins in the water, even though feeling it's somewhat futile, is trying to swim away. Con checks for them. This goblin is still drowning because he's a horrible, horrible swimmer. He just can't seem to get the idea that you're not supposed to scream underwater. And so he's like, that's all he's doing is he's screaming. The other guy is kind of looking at him and he kind of gets the idea that, maybe you're not supposed to do that. So he didn't scream underwater this round. But he does still look quite afraid as he's frantically trying to get away from this beast. Emeraldi, the goblin in front of you is going to take slashes at you with his cutlass. Does a 20 and a 14 hit?
20 does.
All right, for a whole 4 slashing damage as he desperately kind of looks at you and he manages to catch you in between where your breastplate and your hip kind of has that gap there. He kind of manages to catch you there. He looks around wildly, seriously questioning his life's choices at this time. By this time, Jerome Crowe and the sailors are all kind of yelling at you, kind of giving you all the finer points of sword work. As a matter of fact, Captain Crowe kind of looks at you, Emerald, and he goes, No, you gotta go deeper. You gotta go to the bottom. They're shorter than you a little bit. Which brings us to Emeraldi. What do you wish to do?
I think Emeraldi's really paying attention to Captain Crowe's advice, and he just continues his attack. So he swings.
Nice. Yes, both of them hit. As you kind of leap forward, taking his instructions to heart, you aim lower on the creature's abdomen and just cut into him. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Here's 1.
Nice.
Here's 2.
Nice. And as you do so, you kill him. You actually bisect him at the waist as he both halves of him fall dead on the deck. And the captain says, "Might not be cleaning that up now." Toss her.
Emerald turns around and winks at him. It does do pretty good to fight with 2 weapons. This is pretty fun.
All right, Don, you're up. As you are in the hold, to your right, there's this little ladder up to the top deck, about 5 feet. 10 feet up. What do you wish to do?
I think Noah stepped away for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I had my eyes so glued on the battle map that I did not see him step away. So he is going to... let's just wait a moment. See if he comes back.
Noah!
That's alright. I needed a drink.
No, it's Don's turn. It's your turn, dude.
You're up.
Sorry, I had to use the restroom.
That's all right.
Um,
To the right, there's a ladder that goes up about 10 feet to the top deck.
Knowing what happened, though, I'm just going to duck down under the surface and swim to the hole that I made earlier.
Okay.
And pop up under the hole and try and clamber my way up
All right.
into the
Yeah. And
to the bottom of the ship.
let's say with about 20 feet of movement, you're able to do that.
Okay,
total.
so I use my movement to get there. As Banner, you see a hand come up out of the water, and Dawn claws herself
It's
from
the
under
ring.
the ship.
And I was just terrified.
I
of you
just
five,
have
like,
this
30 seconds ago.
I have this mental image of like Dawn's hand, Dawn's other hand, then her face kind of slowly comes up with her beard.
The Banner's just holding this dead goblin in his hand, like, that was interesting.
I am then going to spend my action using prestidigitation to tickle my nose until I sneeze.
Oh, I was
Having-
gonna pass you off as our shaman if any of them lived.
Having learned the trick, finally having this happen so many times,
All right.
to how to incite a sneeze in myself.
and you do so with a flurry of feathers. Your beard goes flying. Is that your turn?
Yes, I try and make it look menacing.
All right. And you may or may not have succeeded. You'd have to ask your companions later. Banner, what do you wish to do?
Banner looks down at the goblin who went limp in his hand. He's like, huh. And he drops it and grabs the goblin who was off balance that he just whacked and tries to grab it by the ankle to hit the last goblin with.
All right. Unfortunately, this goblin, having seen your antics previously, manages to, with an exclamation and a cry of dismay, manage to dodge your hand and jumps nimbly on the bench that he was previously sitting on to row this now beleaguered and doomed boat
Oh,
or
no, I
ship.
don't have that. Well, I guess that's my turn.
All right. What is Cog doing?
Cog's going to move over to this guy and distract him.
All right. Which brings us to you.
And I'm going to shoot that guy again. Well, I guess for the first time.
All right. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
goes a little wide. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna shout encouragement to Dawn. I'm gonna say, hey, see if there's anything good in the hole before that thing sinks.
All right. Lycum, you're up.
With the one in my mouth, I'm going to make like it's. Do I get an like attack of advantage since it's in my mouth and all I have to do is squeeze down?
I don't know. Give me a second to look at something. I gotta look
All right.
at. Oops. I gotta look at you. I gotta look at. Come on.
If you consider the goblin prone in his mouth, maybe.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. I'm gonna look at the. I'm not really familiar with the short. You know
It's
what?
not- it's not raw
I
that
will
way.
I will give you advantage. I mean, you got a death hold on that thing. You're.
Yeah,
It's not like it's gonna go anywhere fast.
yeah.
So,
and as
yeah.
I'm doing that, I'm swimming and shaking it in my mouth, and I'm swimming towards these while like I'm just shaking and going towards the rest of them
All right.
while attacking.
It's funny how quickly we dealt with the first 90% of them. Now the last like 3 of them are taking
I
an
know
hour.
the mop-up operations, right?
We don't want to blow 3rd level spells on 2 goblins.
You're
I'm
like
having too much fun using goblins as magical weapons.
you're like
and I'm having too much fun eating them.
you're like thrashing, and you know there's blood, cloudy blood in the water as you're going. The goblin that you have is still in your mouth. It's not dead yet, but it's so weak that it's like trying to escape. Matter of fact, I can close this one because the captain's dead. Make a make a strength check. All right. Somehow it manages to escape, but not without leaving a good portion of its leg inside your mouth. It's not looking good at all. Matter of fact, he like pulls out, but then he's just kind of flapping there. The other two goblins, realizing that they're not going to get away from you, decide, well, we either die being chased down or we die trying to live. And so they both turn on you like I'm going to attack you. A 15 and a 16.
Yep, they both hit.
All right, for 9 slashing damage as one of them hits you, just whack, whack. And the other one, does a 22 and a 10.
Wait, so 22, 10, and 9?
Wait, no. It does. No. That was 2 attacks, which resulted in 9 damage.
Okay.
Now, the other one is attacking you twice and rolled a 22 and a 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the 10 does not hit, the 22 hits.
Okay, for an additional 4 slashing damage. The one that just got away kind of weakly turns around and kind of takes a desperate... Jeez, I'm rolling good now. Takes a desperate slash at you, rolling a 22 for an additional 5 slashing damage. The goblin next to you, Banner, how are you looking like him?
I'm still in shark form.
All right. The goblin next to you, Banner, misses as he kind of tries to balance on the bench, and instead, as he lurches forward to attack you twice, he falls flat on his face. He's prone.
He's gonna make a great weapon.
Dawn, the goblin sees to the south of you, sees you kind of pop up, and takes 2 swipes at you, rolling a 14 and a 6. I know the 6 doesn't hit, but does 14?
No, I just batted
Okay.
aside with my hand.
25. Banner, another shot. 21 with 4 slashing damage.
But there was a third goblin there? I didn't even see him.
Yep, he's been on the aft deck.
So what did he roll?
He was kind of, sitting there waiting things. 21.
He hits something. He hits nothing. He just dissipates the last mirror image.
All right. Jerome Crowe and sailors kind of rooting you on at this point. Jerome Crowe kind of looks across the widening gap as now the water is starting to envelop some of the decking. Now you're kind of looking around. Dawn, you're noticing some of the deck is in the rear half of the ship is now almost completely submerged. Banner and Dawn, you're both in about an inch of water as the ship continues to sink. The captain says, "Hey, you not be wanting to stay over there too much longer." The sailor down here decides, we might as well help out. He's over here anyway. And he does... Whoops. He misses both times. That third attack was not supposed to happen. Emeraldi, you're up. What do you wish to do?
Let's see. Is there any more? There's no goblins on our ship, right?
There's 6 goblins left. 3 of them are on the ship. The other 3, you don't know where they are, but they're in the water.
Emeraldi is going. Well, let's see. How can I do this? Because I have both short swords. I'd like to pull out my heavy crossbow and fire, but I don't know if I could do both and attack.
If you can drop your swords, I think, without using any kind of...
So the way that works is you can use an item interaction to draw a weapon, but you can't put your weapon that you are currently holding away, you have to drop it. You can pick it up later, of course.
The sinking ships, that may be difficult.
Well, he's not on a sinking ship though.
Oh, right. I am. I'm reacting.
Drops the
Yeah. That's why I didn't.
short swords, rapidly pulls out the heavy crossbow, and catches a goblin in his sights and fires.
Okay. Which goblin are you firing at?
A one close to Dawn and Banner.
All right, the one that's this one.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you definitely hit as it kind of sinks in. It kind of staggers at the unexpected attack from off to his left. He looks injured, but he looks okay.
That's my turn.
All right, Dawn, you're up. What do you wish to do?
I am going to look around, notice that there are so few goblins left, the ship is sinking, I need to get out of here, but I also know that sinking ships create kind of a suction effect that pull you down with them. You don't want to be there when ships are sinking. That's like rule number 1. You always hear about sinking ships. Is like get as far away from it as possible, right?
Would a wood elf know that?
Well, you know,
Just
I've heard some things. I've been talking with some of the sailors, and they told me if the ship sinks, get away from it.
Fair enough.
I've been on the boat for weeks. I've learned something about boats.
All right, so what are you gonna do?
So armed with that dubious information, I am going to sprint over here, yell at Banner, "Banner, come on!" And I'm going to winch the catapult back.
Wow. All right.
And I'm going to wait to... Well, I think Banner has to be the one to release it, because I use my action to winch it back.
Yeah.
But
okay.
those things are usually 2
Are
action.
you on it though now?
Yeah, I'll get on it.
Oh, you're on it. Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm leaving room for you. It probably won't shoot us very
Okay.
far
Oh,
with 2 of us.
Oh, it's gonna be Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Okay, so she winches it back and gets into the catapult, yelling for you. And which brings us to you, Banner. What do you wish to do?
I kick my way through these other 2 goblins because it's too good to pass up.
All right.
And I
Kick
my
the
whip
lever.
and I cut the rope.
All right. So, you cut the rope or you just pulled the lever?
Well, I kick the lever.
All right. So he kicks the release and off you go.
I'm going to try and grab onto one of the ropes of the mast and like slide down it Buccaneer style
All right.
as I pass by.
Well, first of all, I gotta see if you target well. No, you don't target well. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check.
I'm going to use Tides of Chaos to give myself advantage. I don't want this to go as poorly the second time. I'm also going to use my reaction to bend luck to give Banner a plus D4. So that's an 18 for Banner.
All right.
And a 23 for me. As we go sailing across the sinking gap between the ships.
All right, wait. Banner, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
What's the acrobatics check for?
Oh, I thought we both had to make one.
He's
We're
in the
both flying through
catapult
the
too.
air.
Oh, are you in the catapult too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we both got on. He left room for her. She left room for me.
Okay.
It was like a double.
All right. So this is what happens. First of all, as you're in the air, you realize that after the goblin that like slammed into the aft deck and just kind of slid down with the broken nose, no one bothered to kind of adjust the aim at all. And so you see the quickly looming aft deck almost exactly where the goblin like slammed into it. But both of you, Dawn with a little bit of a flare, managed to like grab a hold of the rail as it reaches, comes into reach, and like flip yourself up and give you that extra, little bit. And you said that was okay. He needs to roll a d. Oh no, that was a 3.
I did. It's an 8.
Okay.
I think I land on Emeraldy.
All right. And yeah, you're like. Okay, so Banner, you grab a hold of it and you try to flip yourself up, and you manage to get most of the way. It's just like your clumsy human feet catch on the banister, and you just like face paint. You're both like right here. Where are you? Where's your
I
token?
moved myself.
All right. So you're both like right here.
Okay.
And you're like you barely managed to stay on your feet, but your feet caught on the banister, so it's kind of like one of those stumbling, getting your balance again and kind of almost trying not to trip over your own feet doing so. But you do manage to barely, both of you stay on your feet.
Yeah. Now, can I ask a question about my turn?
Yeah.
Is that like a free item interaction, or is that my action to kick the left?
No, that was your action. That was
Okay.
Siege equipment or actions to use.
Okay.
Usually 2 or 3, depending on the type.
All right.
I look at Don and I'm like, oh yeah.
I knew that would work.
All right.
I say with a face that betrays anything but the confidence my words show.
What is Cog doing at this point?
That worked far better than I thought it would.
Cog is going to fly down here and look into the hole in the hold and see if there's anything interesting down there.
If only you'd done that before we left the ship.
Yeah, as it does.
I'm not going back.
It doesn't see anything but water. He doesn't see anything but water. The whole place is submerged. The ship is almost sunk by now.
Okay, then he's gonna come back.
All right, which brings us to you. What are you doing?
I am laughing so hard I can't do anything.
All right, like him. You're up. What do you wish to do?
Oh, I'm gonna continue gnawing.
We can just sail away. It's not like the goblins can follow us.
Oh, I know.
The ship's
Oh my gosh.
All right,
And
yeah.
I'm not biting the one that was injured because I just assume he's going to bleed out and he's not going to be able to swim. So I'm going to the next one.
All right, which one? Just the corner guy
Either
or the?
one. Doesn't matter. The right
All
one.
right. Well, you killed this guy. Which one do you want to kill is almost the question. Oh, come on, what the world?
Gruesome.
Yeah, this guy's dead. I can't. The thing's going off the side of the screen.
Weird. Yeah, I'll just grab the one that's closest to me then. Right here to my left.
All right, no, I already got him. He's dead.
Okay.
Is that your turn? You're gonna start swimming back.
I'm guessing the ship is actually going to be, starting to leave. Is the ship's still moving a bit, right?
Yeah. Well, your ship is moving. The other ship is floundered.
Yeah, I don't care about the other ship. I
Your
need to
ship
get back
is
to
actually starting to pull ahead a little bit, which I can't really
All right.
do in the map, but
That's fine.
mentally he's
Yeah.
pulling ahead.
Yeah, then I'm realizing that these guys are about done, and I've had my fun. I'm gonna start swimming back towards the ship.
All right. And the surviving goblins, the one can't move. He's pretty much actually. Let me do this. Constitution saving throw. I don't even know how, but he makes it. He starts kind of swimming weakly away. This guy. Yeah, he's swimming weakly away. So they eventually, and you don't know where they're swimming to. They're going the wrong direction. The coast is the opposite direction. So yeah. So Jerome Crowe and the sailors. So the sailors by this time realizing their fun is done, and Jerome Crowe is like, "All right, let's be off." He kind of looks over sailor. Let me see. And as the ship begins to pull away, the captain kind of looks over, and realizes that he forgot someone. As the sailor that was on the ship that had swung over so gracefully before, he's like, wait! And he's grabbing a hold. He's like looking for a rope. He can't find a rope, so he tries to jump. And as he's like running, he like trips and he falls and he hits his head on the bench and he just goes limp.
What?
That's the captain,
initiative
our captain,
still?
right?
And no, actually, at this point,
That's just a sailor.
Can Beetle try to is it too late to try to save the sailor?
You got 5 seconds. What do you want to do?
I want to pick up my
4,
grappling bolt, rip the weapon out of it,
2.
and shoot him. I'm gonna try to grapple him and save him.
Do it.
Okay.
Banner runs over to Beetle while she's loading it and gets ready to pull the rope.
Unfortunately, it goes wide. It does manage to like land next to him, but he tripped. He smacked his head. You know how you can trip? You smack your head on something and you're like dazed. You're out of it.
Yeah.
He smacks his head. He's out of it.
Is he unconscious though?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
down.
then I jump out and go towards the boat. Forget this.
No, at this point, the boat is like this. You guys are now quickly passing. You're like 20, 30 yards away.
I pass the animals and I say, "Like them back to the ship," and I get on the shark and we swim back for him.
You look back. You see 3 forlorn-looking goblins as the ship is singing. They're just looking at you. Is that what you want to try to do?
I mean, I tell Lakem that there's a guy on the ship and we need to get him as it's going down. And I get in the water and hop on, and I tell this to him.
All right.
Yeah, I'll pull him and let's see if we can go get him.
All right. So at this point, the ship is all but submerged. You see the railing above. You see the tip, the bow of the ship. The sailor. Now the 3 goblins are submerged. You see them thrashing. You reach the ship. You're looking around. Both of you do perception checks as you're now underwater trying to find this unconscious sailor. Lycum, with your shark vision, your hunter's vision, you're able to quickly see amongst all the bodies and charred remains, the sailor just kind of floating in the water, lifeless.
I'll go grab him with my mouth, try not to do any lethal damage or
Well, I
anything.
can grab him as we pass
Okay.
by.
Well, yeah, I'll go towards him then and nudge him up and try to get him on top of me.
All right, so Banner, as you're holding on to his dorsal fin, you're trying to grab a hold of the sailor. Go ahead and make a strength athletics check. All right, you barely managed to hang on. It's kind of hard. Lycum's going fast. The current's kind of trying to drag and to pull him away, like claws trying to pull him away. You guys manage to barely get to the ship. You're having a hard time catching up to keeping up with the ship, Lycum, as you guys are getting close. It's now about 100 yards away as you speed through the water. Lycum, you're fine, but Banner, as you are submerged, make a Constitution saving throw as you're trying to hold your breath and hold on to this dying sailor now. You unfortunately don't do so well. You kind of take a gasp for breath as your shoulder gets jarred. You take 3 points of damage as you take in a mouthful of water and try not to sputter and cough too badly. All of you on the ship, you see Banner through the water in the shallows with his hand on Lycum's dorsal fin, his other hand clenching the sailor tightly. What do you do? Anybody?
How far are we from the sinking ship?
It's 100 yards away now. You guys have left the ship behind. The
Beetle.
You see, looking over the edge of the banister, Lycum
Okay.
and Banner in company.
Can
down below.
Beetle have been this whole time hauling back the line to get her grappling bolt again? Because I'm gonna try to grab the sailor and take him, hit the weight of him off Banner.
That's a reasonable assumption. So yes.
Okay, I'm
And
gonna try
Emerald
again.
calls out, "Lower the dinghy, maybe we can rope them."
Okay. A couple of the sailors. Oh yeah, Beetle.
I yell
you-
for help
all right.
to haul him in.
So, Banner, as you're trying to hold on, you see Beetle's grappling shot just kind of spear the water right in front of you. What do you do?
It attaches to the. Oh, it's just in the water.
No,
Yeah.
I tried
I thought you were trying to
wrap
hit
it
the
around.
sailor and wrap it
Yeah, I'm
around
trying
his
to
leg or
absolutely wrap it
something.
around the sailor if I can.
Or that's too much under the water,
If
probably.
it's too much, then
Yeah, I'm having a hard time imagining that taking place.
okay. Well, can Banner wrap it around the guy so we can haul him in?
Banner.
Both my
asked
hands
Banner
are
what he
being
wanted
held. Banner tries to grab it with his teeth, because why not? As he passes by, he goes for it.
All right. I mean, you have.
I got no other options.
Well, I mean, you don't. Okay, that's not all right. That's
Well,
not
no,
what I
I
had in
mean,
mind.
you
But
could
okay.
let go.
Dawn
like
used
him.
her teeth last session. Now Banner's using his teeth.
He bites on as hard as he can, like an animal, like a wild animal.
Making a dexterity, just a dexterity, straight dex check as you trying to.
This
No.
is when I miss. This is when I miss older editions with their hundreds of skills, because I'm sure there's a grapple teeth option somewhere in other systems.
Well, I'm trying to imagine this all taking place, and it's just like, okay, well, all right, teeth. Unfortunately, it does. You kind of go after it like a biting sow, but you don't quite get it.
As Lycum's going to keep swimming and we eventually overtake the rope, then I will try and let go of Lycum and grab it.
Well, let me paint you a picture a little bit here. Let me pull you back, because I think I'm miscommunicating just a tiny bit. So
Okay.
this is you and Lycum right here.
Okay.
You're kind of right, actually. You're right beside the boat. And,
Okay.
and the boat is moving. You are moving. Beetle's shooting down, and the grappling hook was right in front of your face as you were moving. So you, instead of letting go of the dorsal fin and grabbing a hold of the grappling hook so she could reel you in, you chose to bite at the grappling hook, missing, and now it's behind you.
Oh, right. That's what I was hoping for. Okay, because I didn't want to let go until we were well past it, because I know I'm going to start falling behind the ship again. So now I will let go,
Okay.
and given that the rope's going to keep moving, I will try and grab it as it goes by.
All right. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand as you're trying to. Well, not sleight. That's all right. That's fine. It's the same. It's the same. Yeah,
it's going to be the same no matter what.
You were able to
probably.
grab a hold of it as it goes by. Beetle, as you see the line suddenly go taut. Everybody sees the line suddenly go taut.
I scream for help.
I begin
Banner's
pulling.
being pulled apart by this cat. The sailor's being dragged by the current. And it's like Spider-Man. Ugh.
All right.
Speaking of Spider-Man, I'm going to jump up out of the out of Hunter Shark form, jump into giant spider form, and if I can, I want to web those guys, kind of gluing them to that line, helping out with that.
All right. All right. So out of the water in a shower of mist of sea, Lycum kind of jumps straight up, and as he's in the air, you see his form kind of shimmer and change, and all of a sudden he's this large spider. And as he's in the air, he looks at you, points his butt right at you, and lets go with a whole bunch of sticky web that now ascends on the deck, to the exclamation of the captain and crew, and everybody's now engulfed in this web. Beetle, make a athletics check with advantage as everybody else is trying to help you. Yeah. And I'll give
I'm
you an
gonna
extra
use-
D4 since that doesn't really translate very
That's
well
pretty
because you
good.
got 3 or
Okay.
4 different people helping you.
I'm going to use another D4 of my own to give a bit of extra luck with my quickly diminishing sorcery points.
All right. So with a 20 now accumulated worth of help, you're able to
18.
slowly. That was my other 20. You you were able to slowly but surely heave a soaking wet banner and a limp sailor to the deck.
I cough up some water. I pour a potion of healing down his mouth and slap him in the face.
All right, and with the gasp, and he just he lays there a moment. He looks up at you all and he goes, "Thank you."
In celebration, I push Vito into the pile of web on the deck.
I pull her down with me.
All right. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session with a deck full of web and a sinking boat full of 3 sad goblins behind. Wow.
That's what they get.
Yeah, I'm glad we saved that guy. Whew, I was
Matt,
gonna feel bad because we went
I-
on the catapult.
Yeah.
Well, that concludes this episode of our Forgotten Realms D&D campaign with the Protectors. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have, make sure to hit the like button for this video. If you want to see more, subscribe. Leave a positive comment. Give us feedback. This is by no means professional development, but we try our best. Until next time, I hope you all have a great day.